Okay, guys, I'm back. So, that was a real life example of what's really changed for me since these past 4 days. I'm gonna do it this way actually. These past, okay, is it gonna flip? All right, it doesn't want to flip. Okay, so that was a real life example of what's really transformed in just 4 days for me, disconnecting from my phone and from social media completely and just spending time connecting within, connecting with me, connecting with God. Pretty much exactly what I did was I just sat in silence with my journal. I meditated. I just walked around, sat outside in the sun. I stayed at an Airbnb that was so amazing. It had a pool. And I had the Airbnb completely to myself. So I just went swimming and just really sat there and did nothing. I did do a meditation event though with Kyle C's, and that was amazing too. So first of all, before I get started, just keep an open mind and open idea of what God even means to you. Like it doesn't have to be like Jesus or whatever God means to you, right? Even if you're not religious, it could be anything like divine, anything beyond your physical body. There is a force that is keeping your heart beating right now. There is a force that's surrounding us, that's helping everything grow, the trees, the flowers. There is that force that we cannot see that is so much bigger than us, and that exists. And that could be what your definition of God is, right? It doesn't matter what it is. And right before I went on this trip, I told my mom what I was doing, and it's so funny that she just could not wrap her mind around the fact that I was gonna be 4 days without Facebook, without my phone, without the internet. She thought that, what am I gonna do? Like that, she literally couldn't wrap her mind around that. And she said, like, what are you gonna do? And I was like, Mom, life is not it's not all about Facebook. Life is not all about internet. There is life to be lived outside of Facebook, outside of the internet. And that is the story that really a lot of us are living in right now. Like how many of you can literally go spend 4 days without your phone, without Facebook, without internet and still be okay? A lot of you can't even wrap your mind around that. You think you'll go crazy. But just give it a try. Like, just give it a try. And you will experience such a tremendous sense of peace that you cannot access anywhere else. And I just started to, like, first of all, you're going to go through a period where you're literally purging everything. You're going to really sit there with all your emotions, all your trauma, all your memories of the past, all your thoughts that are just haunting you. You get to face head on with all of those getting purged out of you. When you give yourself the opportunity to be there completely, to be present with you, with what's in you, that's when you really get to see every single thing that's dictating your life in the in the backdrop. Right now, a lot of us have no ideas what kind of thoughts, what kind of emotions, what kind of programmings are running our lives right now because we're so busy in the distractions. We're so constantly being bombarded with notifications from Facebook, notifications, like there's notifications from everything. And that's another thing that I did, and I'm sticking with it. I didn't turn any of my notifications back on. On my phone, every single thing are turned off. Because at the end of the day, guys, are you using your phone or is your phone using you? If you have notifications on, the truth is the phone is using you. Because every time when it blinks, your attention immediately gets drawn to the phone. So the phone is using you and you're not using the phone. So what I did before the trip was I turned all the notifications off, and not just like from the app. Turn it off in the setting. In the setting on your phone, all notifications, turn it off. That way, you are not being used by your phone. You only go on it when you need to do something, right? So, the thing is, with every single day, we are just being bombarded with all these outside stimuli, and we never get the chance to sit with who we are. Are you guys hearing that? And it's so interesting that when I came back and then I saw news, I heard news from my sister who lives in LA, all these madness happening. The crazy thing is we feel like our freedom is being stripped away because of COVID, but the truth is the other way around. Everything is in inversion right now. We are actually provided a doorway to freedom right now by being in lockdown. Why? Because everything that we are attached to, all these outside these distractions like going to a party, going to the pub, going to the sports game, going to see our friends, all of those things are outside distractions that we've been so attached to that we feel like it's the answer to our unfulfillment. It's the answer to our unhappiness. All of these things that we attached to got stripped away completely. Now we are being forced to sit with ourselves. We are being forced to peel back all these layers of lies that we grew up believing is the answer to all of your problems. Now you're being faced with just you and your emotions and your thoughts, and that is freedom, guys. Like, that is freedom. What I really came to feel during these past 4 days is I don't even know where to begin. I don't know how to explain what happened, but I just feel like there are so many things that we try to control outside of us, when the moment we can just let all of those go. Let go of everything that you feel like you need to control and only control what's in here and what's in here. It's like a tremendous weight lifts off your shoulders. If you can cultivate a tremendous sense of inner peace, and yes, it's possible, no matter what happens around you, that is the key to freedom. Like, we are constantly trying to control so many things. We want to control how this person reacts. We want to control the outcome of this thing that we're creating. We want to control what the weather is even, right? We want to control so many things that are just not within our control. And if we can just let all of those go and focus on controlling what goes on in our mind, what goes on in our heart, you can find peace no matter what. And the crazy thing is, when you can change that point of attraction, that core being, the essence of you, from one of lack and scarcity to abundance, to wholeness, to peace and love, that's when everything around you gets drawn to you. The money that you want, the relationship that you want, the business that you want, everything that you want externally can only come when your core is whole and complete. The reason why we're controlling things, the reason why we go out there and try to change all these circumstances and conditions is because we're making a declaration to the universe that where we are at right now is lacking something, is missing something. I don't have this right now, so I need to go out there and get it. I don't feel happy right now, so I need to go out there and change this circumstance. Right? Your core essence, your core vibration is one of lack. It's one of, it's missing something. So you receive that exactly in return. You don't have the money. You don't have the happiness. You don't have the relationship that you want. No matter how much you try to control the outside circumstance, nothing's going to change. It's like putting pretty wallpaper covering up garbage. Like, we have so much junk that we're carrying with us, and a lot of that are actually stemming from childhood. I really got to, in these past 4 days, connecting with God, I really got to look head on to all these stories that I've picked up growing up as mechanisms to prevent feeling pain or to receive love. And we all have these, guys. We all have these. Growing up, we did something that, as a consequence, we receive either pain, a negative consequence, or we didn't get love from someone, or we received love if we did certain things. So that became a pattern. That became a story that we tell ourselves, like, if I only put makeup on, or if I only look pretty outside, then I will receive love from someone else. Or if I don't speak up, if I don't speak my truth, then I won't receive pain, right? There are so many stories, like depending on what your childhood was, I don't know. We have developed these patterns and these ideas and these stories that we tell ourselves, which dictate every single behavior that we have today. And then we go out every single day, we repeat the same pattern, and it shows in everywhere. It shows in your relationship. It shows in the way that the work that you do, the business that you try to build. It shows in everything, because you are the source. You are the source of everything, right? The money that you make, the relationships that you create, everything stems from you. So if the core of you, it's in pain, it's in lack, it's in just like everything is not good enough, what do you expect that you're going to get in return? Not good enough. Everything is not good enough. The money is not enough. The relationship is not good enough. The sense of happiness is not good enough, because it all starts with you. One thing that I really came to realize, and it's one of my dedicated and committed, my only goal, my only intention for the next 3 months and on, like I'm doing it for at least 3 months, but I know it's going to become a lifestyle. The only thing that's going to matter to me is my connection to me, my connection to God. That's the only thing that's going to matter. I'm literally letting go on my business goals. Like, I don't care anymore. I don't want to be driven by my ego. I don't want to have like this designated like outcome that I need to achieve. Like, that is so egotistic. Like, that is only based on my own ego intentions and my own ego desires. But there is so much bigger that God has planned it for me. I'm not going to be so focused on the outcome that I've decided from this limited perspective, and to say like it has to be this way. I'm letting all of that go, and I'm only focusing on my connection to the divine. Because when I know when I'm tuned in and tapped in and turned on and aligned, everything, I become an open channel. I become an open channel for the inspirations to come through, for the powerful ideas to come through, for the opportunities to come show up where I can serve millions of people. I'm no longer going to let my ego to dictate what I'm going to do. I'm no longer going to let like that inner child in me that's hurting to dictate how I'm going to operate in my life, right? So like, you guys really got to dive deep, and you don't know what I'm talking about unless you experience this yourself. Like, you got to just disconnect from everything, from your phone, from Facebook, from Instagram, because everything that comes your way, it's not even your truth. Like, you only get to experience your truth when you're in stillness, when you're in silence, when you have no outside distractions to pull your attention away from you. You gotta just connect with you head on, right? Do whatever you need. Go spend a day in nature. Go spend, I don't know, do what I did, right? Book an Airbnb somewhere where you can just be by yourself for a couple of days, whatever, how long you want to make it, right? And just see what shows up. Like, it's been so magical. Oh my gosh, like I don't even know where to begin. So just go do that, guys. Just go do that, because if you don't do that, let me tell you, the rest of your life, it's gonna be just repeating the same cycles, repeating the same patterns over and over and over again until the day you die. The same way that you feel, the same way that you think, the same way that you act. Maybe you make little adjustments here or there, but it's still ultimately your core is still the same. Like, it doesn't matter what jobs you try to get. It doesn't matter what new partner you try to get. If the core of you is still the same, your results are gonna be the same. So like, I see so many people out there trying to like, make more money, trying to get a better boyfriend or get a better relationship. They try to change everything outside of them without changing the source, which is you. Work on healing your connection with you. Work on healing your connection to God first before you try to change anything else. Well, another thing that really came out of this 4 days experience is that You are not trying to change your circumstances. You are trying to raise your consciousness to a level where none of your circumstances even exist. Are you guys hearing me? You are trying to raise your consciousness, your level of thinking to a level where none of your conditions, none of your problems can even exist. That's your only goal. You're not trying to stay in this low consciousness. The same way of thinking that got you into these problems cannot get you out of these problems. So what you need to do is to raise your level of consciousness. That's the only thing you should invest your time, your money, and your energy in doing. Because the same level of thinking and the same level of feeling, it's only going to create more of the same. So do whatever you can to raise your consciousness. And the more you expand your consciousness, the more you can expand your beliefs and expand your thinking so that you have new ideas. You have new ways of looking at life. And I will share with you guys a couple of things that I'm dedicated and committed to doing moving forward. First of all, like I said, I turn all the notifications off on my phone in the settings section, not just on my apps. And I'm not turning those back on. I'm just not going to do that. Like, no. So my phone doesn't get bombarded with notifications. And then second, I am only dedicating to spending like a specific hour each day, two chunks of that. So the first hour, I'm going to come on here to do Rise and Shine. Only going to use Facebook then and reply to messages and share value. And I'll come back again for another hour for Ask Me or anything. And then other than that, I'm not touching Facebook. I'm not touching Instagram. I feel like in the past, I know how much being on Facebook and being on Instagram got me disconnected from me and disconnected from God, but I wasn't fully embodying that. Like I wasn't making a committed decision to not go on it so often. So I let my old patterns and my old habits still pull me back to constantly pulling up Facebook every single day. But now I'm dedicated, I'm committed. Like I am spending that time instead to connect to God. So only 2 specific hours a day I'm on Facebook and Instagram to provide value. I'm not even scrolling. And then another thing that I'm doing is every morning, first thing in the morning, I'm meditating for 1 hour straight. And what meditation is, that's when you get out of your thinking mind, get out of your patterns and to connect to you. So that's what I'm doing. And then I am also dedicating at least an hour a day doing physical exercise where I'm spending time in nature, so that I am, just prepping like this physical vessel so that I can be more in alignment to the divine. You need to feel good in your body in order to feel good mentally and emotionally. And then like I am just, again, I'm letting go all my business goals. Like I realize that I've been so outcome focused and so ego driven, and it became a point where like I made $1,000 in 1 week, but I realized that I was still not fulfilled. Like I realized that money is not the answer, right? And I knew that always, but it's like only when you get the money and you kind of feel like, okay, what was that? Like I thought this would make me feel happy, but no. Like I realized that I'm letting go of these goals, these like, business plans to make this much, to grow this big. Like I'm letting all of those go. And instead, I am just gonna be in this moment by moment, and truly like when you're truly in the now, that's when you're truly connected to God. And I'm going to really cultivate that lifestyle. I'm going to really build that into me and dedicating the next 3 months and on to cultivating this new way of being. No more doing, just being. And anything that I do is getting me closer to being. So that's what I'm doing. And I'm really just going to do what feels good. Like I'm no longer going to be like full day packed with things that I feel like I need to do to move my business forward, like screw that. I'm letting all of those go. I'm only going to be driven by what feels good to me in this now moment. If I don't feel like answering emails, I'm not going to do that. If I feel like going on a trip to Airbnb, book somewhere, I'm gonna go do that, right? And I am just really gonna be making the intention to serve wherever I'm inspired to serve, and really just unconditionally giving my skills and my values and my talents to anyone when I'm inspired to. I just want to give and know that and trust that I'm well taken care of financially, everything. If I'm just giving, like I know that in my heart, so I'm gonna go do that. And I'm just really excited to see what's really gonna happen. I really feel like a new woman in just 4 days. So I highly recommend you guys, whatever you got out of this, really think about what I said. And it doesn't do you anything just by listening though. You gotta actually take action and to experience this for yourself. Disconnect for one day, like fully disconnect. And it's better if you go somewhere else where all of your old patterns cannot really like show up as often. Like what I did was went to a totally new city. I actually went to Redding, California. It was so beautiful. It was like 3 hours up north from the Bay. It was amazing. Like it was so amazing. And I just really spent so much time in silence and just sat with myself and let whatever showed up. Like my thoughts, my emotions, like let that purge. And that was amazing. So yeah, I think I'm spending enough time now on Facebook. I'm gonna go spend the rest of my day doing what feels good to me. So I am sending so much love from me to you guys. Thanks for tuning in. I really appreciate you guys. Oh, and today was day 1 of my 26 Days to Greatness challenge. If you guys watched today's workshop, let me know what your biggest takeaway. Sarah, we talked about activating your greatness, which is so relevant to everything that I just mentioned today. Like, stop letting the smallness of your thoughts and your go get boba attempt. I actually did get boba yesterday. And that's another thing that really showed up, right? Like, I realized that even though, like, I conceptually, like, I know that I always tell myself like I should love myself, and then I wasn't fully embodying that truth. Like really unconditional loving me, it really requires a moment-to-moment commitment to not judge myself when a negative feeling comes up, to not judge myself when I want to get boba, right? Like that's another thing that really transformed for me. So like now if I want to get boba, I'm just going to go get boba and feel good about it. Like there's no more judgments. And that's the next level of truly unconditionally loving you. And that's what's going to strengthen that connection between you and God. And again, God doesn't have to mean Jesus, guys. It can mean like anything beyond the physical like dimension. And I'm not saying to like go get boba 24/7. That's not what I'm saying. Like I still like unconditional love is still like a level where you honoring your body, like honoring what your body needs, honoring it with healthy food. But like if you want to have like a treat, go have a treat, right? There's nothing wrong with that. And feeling guilty only makes you like it puts your body in more stress. All right, so that's all I'm gonna say, guys. Like, really go do what's calling you. Like, it might not be what I did 4 days ago, book an Airbnb. It can be something completely unique to you. Whatever is calling your heart, just go do that. Go do that right now, because there is a whole new world trying to birth through us right now, where everyone is living in not in fear, but in love. Like that's trying to come through us right now. But if you're so stuck on what is, you cannot let what can be show up. So, all right, guys, thank you for watching this. I will come back on for Ask Miko Anything. If you have any questions, come ask me, come connect, and have fun. I mean, come join me on the fun, and I'll see you guys then. All right, guys, take care.